Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. And today's video is for the ladies. And I wanted to talk to you about dressing appropriate, because we are getting to a time where they have taken all of the jobs. If any of you have to move away from your current circumstance, if you have to become homeless, you will need to know how to, dress appropriately. You will need to cover up you and your children. You cannot come out into society in a homeless situation where you think that you're still in, a home where you're going to go back to running water or luxuries or anything of that nature. You must know how to protect yourself, and you have to be dressed appropriately. And if you look in the Bible, or if you look even in the past at our parents' times, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, even up to the 60s, where the women were dressed with, covered up their bosoms, their legs were covered up, the little girls were covered up. They had on their stockings, they had on their tights, or whatever under their dresses. You will have to know how to dress appropriately, because the people that are in the homeless situation, there are predators out here. Most of the males have been indoctrinated into being predators against the women, against little girls, children in society that are in the homeless situation. There will come times that you will need to defend yourself, even going to job interviews, going to different spaces that you were, naturally able to go to. They have been activated in society in order to harm and attack, with the wolf spirit. We're having that predator spirit out here. So we have to be very vigilant. We have to make sure that we are in a space, in a headspace, that we're not like the Europeans. And you should not be dressed like the Europeans. You should cover yourself up, to set yourself aside, and to be able to, hide any kind of armor or utility that you need to hide beneath your clothing. So you should be fully covered. Your bosom should not be showing. Your legs should not be showing. Your arms should not be showing, to attract, predators to yourself or your children. Again, it will come a time for you ladies, with those people who have shut down all of the jobs, the entity. You won't have a job, so you won't be able to afford these eyelashes and these high-end, hair pieces, wigs, hairstyles, or anything like that. You will not be able to afford these things for yourself or your children. The vanity that you have relied upon in order to set yourself apart from other women, getting your hair and nails done every week, that is a luxury. You will not be able to afford that in this economy. You will have to acclimate yourself to your people in order to survive. So we are having a different kind of understanding. You can start your business or whatever. These are the type of women that back in the day were the high-end women. It wasn't the women who had, hair and nails on, regular women. It wasn't those women. If you could afford that, then fine. If you had that type of job where you could afford to be Europeanized, then that only meant that you were in alignment with the entity, with the colonizer. You had integrated into their system, and therefore you would do anything, meaning, and I have to, say, a lot of the sisters have been in alignment with the entity. This is how we have gotten to this space, so that someone has to have this conversation with you. You will overlook your children in society. You will disregard your children in society to align yourself with power, wealth, fame, or money. I've had many of the sisters, and as a matter of fact, after my parents, disregarded me and put me out, I ran into a lot of sisters who knew that I was younger, knew that I was underage, and would not say anything, and would align themselves with the entity and say, oh, she's fast, or that's why, or whatever. So, these are some of the ways that I have seen. Even I ran into celebrities, as a teenager, as a child, and that women didn't say anything. I was a babysitter for up and coming, artists, and they never said anything. And oftentimes I wonder, if you would like your young daughter to be in that situation. How would you react? Would you want somebody to say something to your young daughter if you seen her, in the street with nothing? Or with people that she should not be with, grown men. So these are the type of questions that I have for the females who have aligned with the entity for power, fame, money, and things of that nature. There will come a time that you will have to decide whether you have aligned with the entity, against your own family, against your own community, for hair and nails to look like you're a part of a society that never, wanted you to be a part of, who only wanted you, to look like them so that you could, have some kind of advancement, that they would give you a job, a crumb, something that they would give you, in society, to say that you're taking care of, or they're taking care of your welfare. So these are the type of things that's going on. All of these things are being taken away from you because they were never yours. They belong to those people. And a lot of you women, exalted yourself on these things, and that's why you're being brought back to reality, that you have to provide for your own families, your own self. And if you haven't saved your money, if you haven't put yourself in a position, with having all of these things, a job, a house, even having a husband, if you haven't put yourself in a position where you are not living paycheck to paycheck, and you're not living off of the system, then you will need your sisters and brothers in order to give you some kind of direction and help, and change the trajectory of your behavior, of your mindset. So as we step out of the matrix, and we have this understanding that you will no longer be able to look like you're European if you come out here into this sub society. You will have to make sure that you have dressed yourself appropriately, you have dressed your children appropriately. They are in control. You're in control of yourself, and you're fully armored, and your children know what to do in a chance of an emergency. They have some training and understanding of what to do in order to help you in situations. So this is how it was in the times of old. This is why you dress and covered yourself up. This is why we dress and cover ourselves up, because if I need to hide anything but beneath a sword, beneath my hijab, then that is what I need to do. And that's why in society you will have to protect yourself from these predators. There have always been predators throughout history. This is why we were we had the understanding, but before our parents gave into the entity, why you have to make sure that you're not looking like you're a European. They are attracted to beauty. It doesn't matter if you are a natural, beautiful woman or you're just a woman. They are predators. A lot of them, when you come out here, if you come out here, you will have to keep yourself in a low-key position. You will also have to control your children. So make sure that you are in a position that either you're ready, you're ready for armor, you're ready to move when you need to, you know how to cover yourself. You won't be able to have all those vain things again, hair, perms. You will not be able to line up with the entity. So, I hope that I have given you these words of wisdom so that we align with what our people need. We align with, what the ancestors have given us. We align with what we need to provide for our community, and stop looking for the colonizer or the entity to reward us and give us something for the things that, they have corrupted in our lives. So I hope that this message has reached you. I hope that you like, share, subscribe, support me in these videos that I have been doing for you guys. I really appreciate all of you. I look forward to you, commenting and liking my content. I really appreciate you. Please leave a comment for me. Leave a comment. I'll be sure to get back in touch with you. Book your sessions, book your live sessions, book your life coaching sessions. If you're feeling any kind of anxiety and you just need to talk to someone, the most cost-effective way is to book a consultation with me. I hope that you guys are enjoying this channel. I'm High Oracle, Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.